Can they make it to a third semi-final in a row?
Okay, big game, yeah? Perhaps our biggest. And now listen. Yeah, I'm not going to do my normal speech, actually, no. You guys are in control now. England needs a new story.
It went down a storm at the National Theatre. Now, Dear England is about to kick off a big West End run at the Prince Edward Theatre.
This is men dealing or not dealing with fear.
I don't need to invite you all into my head.
Thank you.
It's the story of the England team over the last 3 major tournaments, a team shaped and inspired by Gareth Southgate. The England manager, portrayed by a major international star.
My route to Gareth, who I absolutely think is a hero for me in terms of what he's done and how he's changed the game. Over and above mannerisms and mimicry and waistcoats, which is all good fun up to a point because you want to allow the audience to have that conceit and go, oh, that's Gareth or that's Kane and that's funny. And then the play has other themes beneath that. So Gareth's critical juncture was 96, and for me the fascinating way of getting to the character is seeing how he forged himself. He grew from that pain and that experience and became the manager he is today because of that experience.
The play focuses on England's journey under Gareth Southgate and how he's tried to change the ethos and remove that fear of failure that dogged England teams of the past. The characterisation is extraordinary too, none more so than for Harry Kane.
I mean, I never had no problem with that. I think a lot of naturally good strikers have ball taking corners. Thierry Henry took corners for Arsenal. But Wazza came and spoke to me at the time and said he'd take him for the next one, and that was fine with me. He was captain, I never had no problem with
that. That's extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
All right.
I think it's about just trying to be sensitive to the fact that this isn't a sketch show, and what we're trying to do isn't a parody, or I'm not remotely trying to send up Kane in any way. I think he's fantastic. You're trying to approach it like a character in a play.
We all have a relationship with the England football team. We've all watched the journey that Gareth and those guys have been on the past 6-7 years. It's been an extraordinary transformation. I don't know if people can remember what 2016 felt like, losing to Iceland, collapsing out the Euros, Sam Allardyce's one single game. It felt like it was the nadir of the sport, and how the hell were we going to get out of it? And the fact that Gareth has done it so quickly, so beautifully, focused on things that managers have not focused on really before: culture, fear, vulnerability, masculinity, identity, history. It's compelling.
Dervla Kirwan plays Dr. Pippa Grange, the psychologist brought into the England setup by Southgate in the build-up to the 2018 World Cup. She was rarely seen by the media, but had a big impact behind the scenes.
Perhaps her invisibility wasn't just to do with sexism and misogyny in football. I think that might have also been a personal choice. Maybe that was just her way of protecting herself. And she works in a very private way. She would have been expected to pull the players aside and to talk to them and sort of be like a horse whisperer or a football whisperer, if you know what I mean. But all kudos to Southgate for getting her in, because he recognised that there was an imbalance. You needed a female presence.
Of course, penalties have a prominent role in the play.
I don't believe it. England are through to the quarter-finals, and they did it on penalties at the World Cup.
Looking fear in the face and not walking or turning away from the keeper and taking your time, and being prepared, and because that's where England, it seemed, was let down over all the great kind of games, was penalties. So there was a great kind of reformation that took place, gentle and with a lot of participants.
The other line I always think in that scene that is a bit short is just that Xhaka just has a yeah in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to represent some football matches on a round stage that moves. That's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, doing the football, that was always going to be one of the challenges. So I guess on the stage, we're trying to find a sort of the essence of it rather than the literal sort of technical ability.
We're trying to show the emotion of those moments from the player's standpoint. So, like, for example, after you score a goal, what actually is that feeling? How do you capture that in that specific moment there? And it's not really about the broader aspects of the game, which is still great, but it's more about what is the euphoria of scoring a goal? What's the euphoria of getting into the finals of the Euros? Like, that's crazy.
We're huge admirers of Southgate and the Southgate project, and yes, for its football and what they've done at those tournaments, but more as much for what they've done for the country and in some ways ideas of what footballers are. And I guess
you think that's changed? You think he's changed the perception of what a footballer is?
Yeah, I think they're a very likeable team. Obviously, people like Saka and Rice and Harry Kane, there's a kind of, I think people are very affectionate towards them.
I used to have a very negative perspective about footballers. I did see them as prima donnas, I did see them as overpaid. This play has allowed me to actually really understand the human story and to go, they're 18, they're babies. And they've got the world's eyes on them, plus the negativity, the anonymous negativity that brings through social media. It's tough. I don't think all the money in the world is actually worth it when you grew up as a kid wanting to play football.
The play is the first drama to be staged at the Prince Edward Theatre since World War II.
You are a team, and you're on the greatest stage on earth, so enjoy it. I'm using that word. Enjoy. This is a story, and you are the storytellers. Yeah!
Gareth Southgate's story with England has not yet reached its final chapter. That's likely to come in Germany in next summer's Euros. But from his own personal penalty tragedy to a World Cup semi-final and a Euros final, the play highlights a new optimism, made in England, forged by Southgate.
Beginning, middle,
End.
Dear England,